What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Grave Media. This is Josh here, checking in on you out there in YouTube land. YouTube, I'm cold. Man, I'm so cold. Dude, I don't know what happened, man. In Oregon, we have these things where there's like all these like jokes about how many times you feel like it's going to be spring. And I know it can't be spring in January, but last week, dude, it was like 50s. The week before, it almost hit 60, and I was like, oh man, we might actually be able to get outside and take some, like, have a normal. No, it's like 20 degrees out here. I just got home from work. I'm in my work clothes, which is usually just a basic ass hoodie over some clothes. Anyway, I'm out here freezing. I need to put a beanie on. But I want to talk to you guys really quickly about a movie that I've owned for a while that I was just really late in getting into. This is a movie that I watched yesterday because I had the day off, and instead of coming on here and doing a ranking, I decided to watch like 3 or 4 movies because I needed to kind of, I don't know, man, my horror cup has been filled lately. I've been watching some pretty decent movies. If you count Primate and Strange Harvest, Mr. Jones, there's been quite a few, and I know some people are going to give me a little bit of shit about Mr. Jones, either one, for being like 13 years late to the party. Fair. I love found footage. Or having a terrible ending and they think that the juice isn't worth the squeeze at that point. Or just the fact that, everybody knows. But, that kind of thing. So let me break this thing down for you and kind of give you a basic plot. Okay, Mr. Jones is a 2013 Anchor Bay film that, like I said, I've owned, and I seen that it was on digital. And the digital was actually a 1080 copy, and not that this DVD looked bad, but when I tried to watch it, I was like, this isn't going to work for me out here on this really nice TV. So I ended up renting it from Prime. I think I bought it actually for $5, and I lay down on the couch and I just pushed play, and I just want to see what would happen with this film. And I'm happy to tell you guys that I went on one hell of a ride with Mr. Jones. I'm telling you right now, this film has to do with a husband and a wife, and they decide that they're going to go ahead and pretty much sell their possessions. They're going to buy this house in the middle of nowhere, or at least rent it for a year. Is the basic plot. And this house is in the middle of nowhere. I want to say it's the East Coast somewhere in New England, and they've got acres and acres of land, and they've got this old house, and they don't have a lot of technology. So they show up and they just got books, and they're just going to kind of live off the land and just kind of rough it. The husband's like, hey man, I'm going to make a documentary, and the wife is a photographer. She's going to leave her really well-paying job to let this guy kind of pursue his dream. A tale as old as time, am I right? So as you can imagine, this guy decides that there's going to be some mild spoilers in this as well. I won't be on here for too long, but things aren't really going well when he wants to make this nature documentary. He's got this beautiful woman with him, and like he's got everything at his disposal, but turns out maybe he's bipolar, maybe he's not taking his medication, because he kind of starts to go off the rails. He falls into a little bit of a depression, and the things that used to interest him, he should just tell his wife, like, hey man, this isn't working. I fucked up. I made a giant mistake. I think we need to tuck tail and run. Let's go back to New York. We're going to have a major problem if we stay here. But instead, you kind of see him start to slowly unravel and spiral. And that's really captivating. And I should say that this film is done kind of through the documentary lens in the beginning, where we're following Scott and Penny. We're following Scott, and he's filming nature, and he's filming cliffs, and he's doing yoga, and he's in a fucking, like a hammock. He's got all the things there to like make his chi aligned, if you will, not to be totally Eugene hippy dippy, but he's pretty well set up to have a great time, but he just doesn't have the motivation. And I should say that we're kind of watching this through, Scott's footage, kind of like a found footage lens now. And inside this footage, we're starting to see this character kind of slowly kind of creep into view, and he's wearing a cloak. You can't tell if it's a man, if it's a creature, if it's some sort of beast, some sort of cryptid, but it's got very crow-like mannerisms in a way. Moves kind of funny, decides to steal his stuff, and Scott decides, hey man, I'm going to go ahead and go check out where this guy goes, and he realizes that there's this kind of shack cabin thing on his property, kind of similar to Horror in the High Desert if you think about it. A little Blair Witchy, but way better production value, obviously. And he goes into this cabin, and he finds like all of this crazy like sculptures and artwork, and this guy Mr. Jones, we find out, does this crazy scarecrow type art stuff, and Scott just becomes obsessed with it and decides to bring it back and show his wife Penny, and she's like, this is that guy, this is that kind of avant-garde kind of Banksy character that creates this artwork and nobody knows who he is. He just sends it out to people. This is our shot. Fuck your documentary. Let's take my photography. Let's make a book. Let's make a movie. Let's find out who this guy is. We have access to all of these creatures now and all these like scarecrows and pieces of art. And you learn kind of through the lore of the movie that Mr. Jones has like sent out like 8 or 9 of these pieces of art that are like really, really highly valued and people want them. Super cool premise, right? And so what happens is they become obsessed with this. Scott decides to leave Penny there. Penny kind of starts to go off the rails a little bit, being there by herself, doing her photography. And you start to wonder if kind of like the dream world and the day world, like what are we actually seeing as the audience? It kind of pulls this veil over you a little bit and you don't know like what's real and what's not. And Scott interviews people that have received these scarecrows and they're all a little bit odd. Some of them are happy to get them. Some of them have seen some things. Some of them decide that I need to get rid of this piece of art because it's causing me to have this nightmare where am I awake right now? Am I still dreaming? Like it's this weird, really, really creepy. I think it's done just excellent, man. Almost like limbo between the two worlds, maybe even purgatory, some shamanism. It's fucking excellent. It's fucking excellent. The first 2 acts of this film, dude, I was grinning. I was turning it up. I was like, so into this movie, man. I loved everything about it. I was so obsessed with it for at least like 70 minutes. There is a fatal flaw to this film. If you've seen it, then you know, where they reveal what's happening, and unfortunately I think that kind of takes it pulls the mystery out of the film, where if this would have just been at the very, very end, you've been like, okay, I see the setup now. Because if you're watching this film and you are a fan of these kind of Lovecraftian, mythological, cryptid, like where you don't know what's real, what's not, the way that the film is shot and the way we're like discovering footage and it's like going from the daytime to the nighttime to what's real, like it's very jarring, it's very off-putting. It's done so well that as a found footage movie, man, it's one of the best. It's just one of the best found footage movies I've seen. The character development, the idea for the story, the premise, the plot, all that shit. Nails, man. 10 out of 10 idea. The execution in the end, I think, is going to piss some people off and they might say, it's a pretty good movie up until then. I'm going to say 6 out of 10. That doesn't bother me. Did the movie itself, Mr. Jones, the character, did he take you on a ride? Did you want to know more? Did you not get the payoff? I understand maybe rating a film like that lower, but for me, the fucking experience and the way that it made it kind of psychedelic, and did I take some drugs? Is there something going wrong? Do I know where I am? There's something so like, I love that stuff, man. I'm such a Lovecraft nerd. So this one hit me exactly where I needed to be itched, man. This was a great fucking horror movie. It feels like something that you and your friends could create if you had a strong enough an idea. And I was telling my buddy, I'm like, dude, you got to check it out, man. I loved it. I know people are probably not going to like it because of what happens at the end. I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it, but it's on Tubi, right? It's on Prime for $3 or $4 and you can own it. I've got this DVD. Maybe there's some special features I need to get into, but awesome film, dude. I feel dumb for never having seen it. The way that those scarecrows are and the way that this thing kind of, when you finally do get to see the guy, like he's not even acting like a person. Mr. Jones himself is like a caricature of a crow or some sort of shapeshift. Like it's cool. It's really cool, man. And I just had a blast with it. So guys, that's pretty much it. I want to get out of here under 10 minutes. If you're new here, you know what to do. Like, talk some shit down there. Subscribe, send it to a friend, send it to an enemy. I love you. Take good care. Until next time. Yeah, light a fire. Let's get warm. Watch something cool. Mr. Jones. This movie. This was it. This was it.